Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So today we're going to be talking about something that's really important to a lot of people, and that is which cell phone you should use and which service provider should you choose. Let's kick this off. Alright, so this should be a very simple topic, but I don't think that it is. There's so many things that go into you picking a cell phone provider these days that it's extremely difficult, and that's saying it lightly. So I personally feel like if a person really wants true freedom, you'll definitely have to invest, or not invest, you'll have to go prepaid. Postpaid accounts are when you go to a carrier and you're set monthly on what you have to pay them. And you could technically be on a postpaid account and pay a set amount, but you need to bring your own phone, and there's just too many things that might tempt you, like financing a phone monthly. And even now, prepaid companies, it's there too. But the reason I would say go prepaid is because you have total freedom. You could definitely just leave a prepaid company by not even paying the bill. Just don't pay that next month and it stops. As long as you don't have it on auto draft or anything like that from your debit card or bank account, it just stops and your number dies. And sometimes they'll keep it active for a month or two, or they won't let your number go into the cloud and let someone else get it within 90 days sometimes. So the first thing is picking whether or not you want to go postpaid or prepaid. And I personally would recommend prepaid. Just for that thought and feeling, knowing that you're free to do what you want to do. Now that's contingent on, again, several things. You're going to go prepaid, but you're not going to finance a phone through a prepaid company. To me, that kind of defeats the purpose of going prepaid. I think you should definitely, when you go prepaid, try to find a device that's going to work on Verizon's network, at&t's network, and T-Mobile's network. And I just mentioned those three because those are the three top, I'll say, postpaid carriers. So if in fact you decide to go prepaid, which again, that's what I recommend. And this video, mind you, is just for people who just starting out, who just really can't decide, because believe it or not, even though some of us are established in the smartphone game where we understand all the plans and who you should be with possibly, or who we would say has the better this or that, there are plenty of people out there that are just getting their first cell phone. And the way I see it, there's a lot of young people out there, their parents are going to buy them their first cell phone. So parents, this might be something you want to listen to. But picking the right device is one of the most major things you want to do. Now, obviously, a lot of parents out there are going to go straight to an Apple device, and they'll probably skip right over a Motorola device. And I say Motorola because almost all Motorola phones work on every carrier, which means you could put that thing on Visible, Verizon, you can put it anywhere. Cricket, most places, the unlocked Motorola phones will work on all the carriers. And so keep that in mind. So, but again, judging by today's standards in today's world, a lot of parents might say, well, I can get you an iPhone 6s if the child asks for, say, an iPhone 12. Or like some people I know, they've asked for the 12 Pro Max, which I think is crazy to give a young child for their first phone. But hey, you do you. So the first thing I would say is, if you're going to take my recommendation and is to go prepaid, there are some advantages to buying an unlocked device over buying one that the prepaid companies will offer. Now, sometimes it is best to just buy a device from the prepaid company because they'll offer like a free phone. If you start a new service or something of that nature, you'll be able to just get a free phone and you'll have a phone for your child or whoever it's for. And it is $0. You just give them a new activation or pay $50. And as I look on Cricket's website, they have the iPhone SE, $49 for new people. That's just crazy. Or if you port your number in, it's $49. That's incredible. So it's $250. My bad, it's $250 if you need a new number as a new customer. But if you port the number in, you get the phone for $49. That's just such a good deal. But we won't talk about portage yet. But just getting a new phone through a prepaid carrier is a lot easier than because you know you're getting, it's going to work with that carrier. You won't have any problems, especially if you plan on staying with that carrier. So be sure to pick the carrier that you feel comfortable with as far as your network coverage. You have to do some research. Now, my recommendation is simply Visible Wireless. That will be my top choice if you're looking for solid coverage across the board. Literally, you should have fantastic service with Visible because they run on Verizon's network. And I'm not saying Verizon has the best network, but Verizon's network is very well maintained. It's very stable, and you should get some really good coverage. And the speeds and things on there are really solid. So Visible Wireless, especially if you have a family plan or something like that, or you're thinking about adding more than one child on, they have that party thing where you can just get a discount on them. You pay less per month per line. If you want that solid coverage, you are going to have to check your coverage map where you live. And because I'm recommending Visible, but where you live, Visible might not be good. You know what I'm saying? So this is just, in most situations, Visible is going to be really good to you. Visible is going to be really good. So just keep that in mind. Next on the list, I would definitely recommend T-Mobile. Their prepaid service is $15 a month for 2 gigs. And you do get unlimited. It's 2.5 gigs. You do get unlimited through them. And they just throttle you down once you go over that speed cap. But right now, they're offering a free phone. It's pretty incredible. Get a free phone with the purchase of $150 simple prepaid service. So basically, you're getting the service free or the phone free, however you want to look at it. You can get a T-Mobile Revel 4, a Samsung A12, or a Nord N100. All of those are fantastic devices. And again, this goes back to that thing of, man, how do I get the perk of this? But the perks of being on your own and controlling your plan is great. You do have other companies like Virgin Mobile, I think, still Boost Mobile, all good carriers. But again, this is just my recommendation how I would tier them. I think as far as coverage goes, Visible definitely is your way to go. And then as far as your value to customer, it's definitely T-Mobile, because they may not have as strong a coverage as Visible in a lot of places, but it definitely is way up there with them. And their speeds are a lot faster, and their network is really established too. But you pay less, so you'll decipher what you want to do, how you want to decide whether or not you want to go with T-Mobile for the value plus really good service, but not as good as Visible in some areas, or Visible, I'll pay that extra money to keep that stable service. In my personal experience, so T-Mobile definitely offers $15 and $25 plans from their prepaid. They're just fantastic. I mean, I've obviously been with T-Mobile for a very long time, and I would go so far as to vouch for them to say that they're probably one of the best companies that you could possibly go with. And I know I'm saying Visible will have probably a little bit more stable network, but T-Mobile is, to me, the better company overall as a package. Definitely rocking with T-Mobile as the number one company for me. In their plans, I mean, $15 is just sick. You could have 4 people for $60. That's just, and the thing about the 2.5 gigs of data every month, you don't have to use that. Most people are on, because cell phones today are utilized in the home a whole bunch, and even when you're out and about. And I think that most people are on Wi-Fi when they're in their house. And even if the Wi-Fi is not very strong or good or whatever, it's still going to be better than using your data, and it'll be more stable and faster. So I think you really should consider that $15 plan or the $25 plan. I think the $15 is a lot of value to a person just starting out, because with T-Mobile prepaid service, if your child doesn't like a phone, you don't have to contact them and tell them to switch it out and activate it and all that kind of stuff. Some prepaid companies are like that, to where you have to activate the service on the other phone. It's a headache. And I just think with T-Mobile, that is definitely a huge plus. You can pop your T-Mobile SIM card in any unlocked phone, and it will work right away without you doing anything. Just install the T-Mobile app, and you're good. So next on the line, I've actually been really enjoying US Mobile. I'll be giving you a follow-up video on that. Now, their plans, they run on the Verizon network, and Verizon and T-Mobile, I believe. They're definitely a good choice, because their plans are, their $15 plan with 5 gigs of data, unlimited talk and text, is those are plans $15. But with them also, you can match their plans however you want to. They have 5 gigs for $15. That's just, and that right there is double what you get for T-Mobile, and you get Verizon's network. So that's one to consider. Now, the reason I'm not ranking US Mobile higher than T-Mobile is because, well, T-Mobile is really established and I trust them wholeheartedly, no problems. I just think they're of this entire list of companies, I think T-Mobile is probably the best overall company as a whole. But US Mobile, man, they're fantastic. If I'm being honest. Their data is nice, no trouble with drop calls, streaming is good, everything is absolutely great with US Mobile, and their plans can be a la carte. You can have a plan with no data, for $10, just unlimited talk and text. And then another perk to US Mobile is if you do an unlimited plan, it's $25 a line, and you get to choose, if you choose 3 or more phones on that plan, you get to choose like free Netflix, free HBO. They give you a perk, Disney Plus with ESPN and Hulu. You can pick one of these, and it's paid for by them. So HBO Max, Netflix standard. There's just so many things. You can do gaming, you can do music, Apple Music, Pandora, premium services. You get one of those for free. And again, you're probably thinking, Jay, that should be number one. US Mobile is new to me, and I don't know. I'm not there yet, but I know that they're a good company, but I'm still in the testing phase, and this could change later on. It could change later on, so we don't know how it's going to be. But as of right now, again, other companies are well established, and this US Mobile, to me, is new. I definitely like the company, though. I don't have any complaints at this point. Again, I'll follow up on that. But that's someone that you should also consider as well if you're going prepaid. Because with them also, you can actually swap SIM cards and phones. But it has to be just like certified phone or something. I don't know. I swapped, like right now I'm using them with my Surface Duo. Because, I'm swapping the SIM card from different phones, testing it out. And, they're iffy about swapping SIM cards. And the reason I bring that up is because when you're prepaid, again, you want all the freedom you can get. And something as simple as swapping your SIM card can be a real headache with some prepaid companies. So you gotta be mindful of that. Now, Cricket is another company that I'll talk about before I get out of here. Again, they run on AT&T's network, and they're pretty solid overall. Their pricing and their plans is not the cheapest, I guess, if you want cheap relates to quality to me, but they're not the lowest in price, but they do offer, some pretty good, value to the customer. But with them, they want you to do multiple lines to get that value, because they have 2 gigs for $30 in unlimited talk and text, and they don't offer you all the perks if you don't have multiple lines. And that's like some of these companies, like Visible is that way too. But Visible offers a little bit more, and again, the network is more stable. So picking a prepaid company could be difficult. Now, you could say, hey, Jay, you know what? I think I'm just going to go full-fledged postpaid. I'm just going to buy me a nice unlocked phone, and I'm going to go ahead and activate service. You'll actually be doing yourself a service, because postpaid accounts take advantage of the network capabilities. They're not prioritized. They're prioritized as number one, i.e., if you go with Visible, you're prioritized under Verizon's network. So Verizon postpaid customers take precedence over you, and so on with T-Mobile and T-Mobile's prepaid and Metro PCS. They all go under T-Mobile's postpaid for priority. So if you start to use too much, they're going to push you down the list, and you'll see yourself in a situation where you're not as fast as you were originally. So same thing with AT&T, but AT&T has caps. Or Cricket, they have caps. So I don't know. It's picking a carrier could be tough. but there's some key things you need to remember. You just need to remember to check your coverage where you live. So go to some of these places and check the coverage for where you live. Meaning, go to their coverage map and check out where your house is. Put your home address in there, and then you'll see exactly what your coverage should be like. Go to a store, have them double check the address. And then don't settle in. If you go into a store, they're gonna push hard. They won't give you a better deal. They'll try to be real aggressive. So I recommend you do a lot of things online if possible, but only go to the store to check something if it's the store that you're possibly going to buy from, because they might offer you such a sweet deal you might not want to walk. So and there are no visible stores. That's just a Verizon network, so that one's okay to check. Same thing with US Mobile. There's no US Mobile stores that I know of, so it would just be like the T-Mobile and at&t side, and Cricket, Metro PCS, those stores. But a lot of these companies that are online only, like there's very few Boost Mobile stores. There's like one in this entire area where I'm at, I believe, and it's kind of far away. So try to do as much as you can online, and then make sure you check the coverage maps. Put your address in there, down to the if you live in an apartment, put it down to do it as best you can, just to make it as accurate. Because once you order and get going, you don't want to have the hassle of you not getting accurate service. Now, throughout this video, this is just a recommendation of what I recommend. If there's another company down below, because there's Ultra Mobile, Red, there's so many prepaid companies that it's hard to choose from. But what I will say this, I'm offering you an idea or a recommendation for a credible company that I've actually used and am currently using. So I'm only offering you people that are companies that I know will do right by you in the end. Some of these prepaid companies, I have no idea about a lot of them, and I don't know how their customer service is. A lot of them don't even have customer service. So you ever seen that when you're trying to get someone that says email us? You're like, what? Email? You're a big company, you only want to take my email, but you took my $62, that type of deal. You want to avoid that. So yeah, I did mention a lot of prepaid companies in this video, but prepaid over postpaid, I definitely recommend that. You've got Mint Mobile too. Don't forget about Mint Mobile. But again, there's just so many that you could possibly choose from. You just want to be mindful of their coverage map, and then possibly look at their customer service, how it is, and then make sure you get the right device for you. Because with prepaid, a couple things going to happen. If you don't get a deal like T-Mobile's offering you, if you spend $150 up front, by the minutes up front, basically, you're buying a credit to pay for your bill, basically. So they're going to get their money out of you somehow. So, and once you buy that and you activate it, you don't get your money back for minutes. So choose a phone that you're going to like. So I recommend you going unlocked if you can. A lot of people can't go unlocked because of the price of the device up front. Yeah. So again, there's always some catch. If you're thinking about doing that, just be careful about the device. If you take a free device or something like that, just be mindful of that. If you're gonna take a free device, AT&T, or not AT&T, AT&T has prepaid also, but Cricket is, I think you should go with Cricket over the AT&T prepaid. Those prices on some of the AT&T prepaid phones are ridiculous. But then again, I do recommend you do unlocked if you can. But if for some reason you can't pay for the device up front and you have to take a free phone, definitely check out the phone. Use it if you can, if they have a setup at a store. Or unfortunately, the only thing I can say is jump right here on YouTube and search for the device. Search this channel first to see if I have it or not. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you get the device that you're gonna like. You don't want to get something that because I think you can exchange the phones on prepaid if you get them within the 14 days, but you can't get your money back for the service. And so I definitely would recommend that if you do decide to take a free phone, make sure it's something good. And of these phones that I'm listing to you free, T-Mobile definitely has the better deal right now on free phones because the Nord N100 and the Samsung device definitely is a really good. Those are good free phones if you just don't want to spend any money, especially that Nord N100. Fantastic device. So hopefully I was helpful in helping you guys out to get going with picking a prepaid carrier or getting getting your foot wet in the cell phone game. So I do review a lot of cell phones or whatever. So and I do prepaid services. At any given time, I'm using 3 or 4 different carriers at one time. But I think it's okay to experiment. And the good part about it is, if you say, "Hey Jay, I went with Cricket. I didn't like them," and if you have an unlocked phone, if you have no ties to a company, as far as like a phone that they gave you or something of that nature, and you have an unlocked phone, you're definitely free to go. You don't even have to wait for your number to cancel out or not pay that bill. You'll lose money on the bill that, like, let's just say, example, you start service with Cricket and you don't like it, but you took your iPhone 12 Pro Max, just an example. I know you wouldn't do this, but you took your iPhone 12 Pro Max and it's unlocked. Yeah, so it'll work on every carrier. So you took this to Cricket, you started the service, you got your SIM card from Cricket, you started up, you didn't like it. You walked into a building and the service was horrible. So then you say, I didn't like that. You don't if you're 2 weeks in or a week in and you're just really having a lot of problems, you can contact them first and say, "Hey, look, this coverage isn't what you said it was." They might give you a refund or partial refund. If they don't, you can take your number and port it over to a different prepaid company. There's no reason you have to stay with them. You lose the money that you spent on that plan, but you don't lose money by being locked in with someone, because once you're locked in, paying for a phone monthly on an account, you're locked in almost. It's just like having a contract. So if you don't like Cricket, port your number over to or to Visible or whatever. Or leave it there, and if you don't want to mess with that at all, since it's a prepaid number, it's just started, you didn't give it to that many people, start a new line. That way you don't have to worry about that. You can just take SIM card out and put it into the next phone, and you'll be good to go. So there it is, man. Choosing a cell phone provider and choosing the right plan and choosing the right phone, that all is going to come down to the individual. We all have different needs and we all have different wants. So just to recap before I get out of here, as far as network coverage goes, I think Visible, Verizon's network, is the most stable all the way across the board in my personal experience. I mean, just flatline. It's really good. Very seldom does it drop out in areas. And then value to customer as a complete package, definitely I would say T-Mobile, because they have really low plans and they're a stable company. And their network too is better than Verizon in a lot of areas, but then in some areas it's not as good. And so there's that offset that you possibly might have. But as far as the network goes for US Mobile and Cricket, US Mobile runs on Verizon's network or T-Mobile, depending on which plan you get or which SIM card you get. So it's going to be just a win-win for you. And again, as I expressed about the plans themselves, depending on which plan you pick, you get some perks with US Mobile. And with Cricket, they're still kind of high on their plans for a person starting out for prepaid, I say, for a single line. But their phones, they still want you to finance phones and things like that. So just be mindful. Their network runs on AT&T, but it's still a good network. It's a solid network. So plan-wise, I think US Mobile kind of wins it out a lot over all of the companies. But if you're just not wanting to take a risk, you can definitely go with T-Mobile for $15. That is just a killer deal. And with Visible, you have the ability to stack people on and pay less per month. But if you're doing just a single line or 1 or 2 lines for your children or your mother and your father, whatever, T-Mobile is still, and US Mobile is kind of your best bet. The advantage that T-Mobile has over US Mobile is you can walk into a store and activate prepaid service, and you can have someone do it all for you. I see it all the time. I see people, couples or people in there with their children, activating prepaid phones in the store. So you get the customer service behind that. Now, I'm not saying US Mobile doesn't have good customer service. I'm just saying there's no US Mobile stores that I know of, or there's not a place where I can walk into and say, activate my service with US Mobile. And it's not to say that it's difficult to activate service with US Mobile, Cricket, or any of these places that are just online only predominantly, like Boost Mobile and things like that. Those aren't bad situations. It's just that depending on who you are, you might not want to deal with that. So US Mobile definitely has the perks and offer you more data and give you a really good network if you want it. But you make the choice. So it's your man Jay. I hope you guys enjoyed coverage, plan, phone. Definitely pick a phone that you're going to want to keep. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Take care.